still dancing to ABBA. I tell you what, they're still around, and they're doing really good. I hear they're doing a comeback. Anyway, good morning, everybody, and welcome. And I tell you what, my wonderful guest next is Juliet Sibson, and we're going to go over now and talk to her. Juliet, how are you?
Good, thank you, Steve. Good morning.
Good morning. Now, tell us about yourself.
That's always a big question, isn't it, when people say that? So I am a 60-plus-year-old woman who was born in Leicester. Hooray to our football team. I know. I have been married for 42 years. I have one daughter and two wonderful grandsons. And I have, I suppose, all of my life, whether I knew it or not, been working with people to help them reach their full potential and to stand in a space that's their own and to claim that. And I suppose very recently I've come to the understanding that the reason that you often are in a space where you become either embraced or knowledgeable or an expert is because it's something you need to learn for yourself. So it's almost like you are teaching what you need to know. So it's
Right.
sort of an ongoing cycle of me growing and the people I work with growing at the same time. But again, you know, that's a very, very, very recent, I suppose, thought for me, something that's come to me that's made me realize that actually this is what I need to know. This is what I need to do for myself as well as for the people that I work with. So I work lots of people, both corporately and on individual basis, a lot with women around claiming their own space, but dealing with those, you know, those monkeys that sit on your shoulder that talk crap, basically, and tell you you're not good enough, you're not enough, you know, you could do better, all of that rubbish that gets spoken in your head. So working with women around self-sabotaging beliefs and almost habits. It's almost like we do the same thing over and over again until we learn whatever the lesson is that we need to learn, but we keep doing it to ourselves. So for me, there's very much around not getting away from the fact that other people can do things to you, but it's how you take that on board and how you react and how you move forward with your life that's going to be the key for you. It's all around resilience. It's all about self-love, really, for me.
So you are a coach, yeah?
I'm a coach, I'm a trainer, I facilitate, I mentor, I train other coaches. So the whole thing around growth, I suppose, personal growth is what I do.
Good, good. So if someone comes up to you now, right now, and said, right, Julia, I need some help. How, so what, what can you help them with?
Well, I think first thing of all, Steve, is to find out where they are. So I very much start with the premise of, tell me where you are now. What's working for you? What's not working for you? What would you like to see differently? So I spend a lot of time in that space of a bit like a sat nav, you know, finding out first of all where you're standing,
Right?
and then doing something about where you want to get to. So first of all, it's where are you now? And I have a tool in my 12 Wise Women practice that is called the aspect wheel. And basically it's 12 areas of your life. And it's finding out where you are in those areas of your life at this moment in time. So if you think about, I don't know, spirituality or home, how satisfied are you with those areas? So once we've pinned down what it is that actually is bugging you, where the gaps are in your life, I can then go on and help with some strategies to start moving you forward. Because although I absolutely teach and train and coach, the person doing the real work is a person that comes to me. They're doing the slog.
Right. Okay. Good. And have you written any books?
I've only written one small book ages ago called What Do You Expect? Because this was around working a lot with freelancers, with managers, with people who offered their services to other people, but they didn't ever check in what was expected of them. And so there's a bit of a gap between disappointment of the client, but also disappointment for the person delivering the service. And I worked a lot with people who develop like websites for the people. And it's all lovely at the beginning of the relationship. But as things go on, someone goes, oh, can I have a bit of this? Or can I have a bit of that? Or that's not how I expected. But that's because up front, they didn't do that whole clarity and expectation stuff. What is it do you expect me to deliver by the end of this project? So I wrote a little book around that and came up with a cycle that people, if they followed it, would have clear outline of what was going to be delivered, and both parties could be satisfied.
Yeah, brilliant, very good. And today, you're married and everything, and I suppose you're married and you're in a loving relationship and everything. And I suppose when you were younger and you were going through your teenage years, say, you probably have had a lot of experiences as well, where you can use in your coaching. Is that correct?
Absolutely. And as far as how people treat us, and I mentioned at the beginning around self-love. I think self-love grows as you get older and mature and you start understanding yourself. But until then, you can spend your life playing second fiddle. And I work with a lot of women, and I've been there myself, where I have taken what somebody has said about me to heart. I've taken it very personal. I've taken it on board. I've made myself smaller because of it, and then bigger, and play second fiddle to who they were. So they become, almost in a way, sorry to use this, I can't think of a better word. They become, in some relationships, your partner becomes your God. You want to do everything to please them and nothing to please yourself. Yeah. And you just worship them. And it doesn't really matter what they say or do to you. You keep going back.
Are you a people pleaser?
I have been a people pleaser. I can absolutely put my hand up to that. That feeling that the only way to survive is if people like you. It's not even that they love you. They just have to like you. And you'll do anything, absolutely you'll give away your life so that other people will like you. And the only thing that's led to and will lead to for all of us, including me, is resentment. You resent absolutely in your bones that person, but at the time, all you're doing is people pleasing. I've had jobs where I've intentionally gone and played smaller than myself to please my manager or to please whoever I thought it was. As I say, not just when I was younger, but I know that in relationships as I've grown older with friends and things, that I've done exactly the same. Mm-hmm. That I have, said yes to things, even when it meant that it cost me something and cost me dearly sometimes. I'd go yes to make them feel happy. And then it probably is not instantly, but a little while later, you start to resent it. You can do it a couple of times, or your family have asked for things and it's not what you'd love to do yourself, but you think, oh, well, do you know what? No harm, I'll go along with it. And then you just go, oh, I wish I hadn't, because this doesn't feel right. So that people pleasing thing, what it does, it tears away at you and you become smaller and smaller and smaller. It's a bit like, I mean, I love making jokes. I'm a bit of a comedian at heart. And I know that I used to make people laugh to stop myself from saying what I really wanted to say.
Yeah, yeah.
Because it's a bit of a hiding thing, isn't it? It's, as I said to you, it's that self-sabotaging thing. It's a thing you do when you don't want to face up to what you need to do next.
The trouble is, though, you know, if we don't say what we want to say, you know, it's going to eat us up more inside, isn't it? And we need to come out with it. You know, I'm a mental health campaigner and an obesity campaigner, right? So I say it as it is, right?
Yeah.
So, and, you know, if people don't, you know, I've been stigmatized about my weight, I've been told, you know, that I'm no good and everything, but it doesn't matter. That's their opinion. My opinion is this, that I want to help people, and that's why I'll do it on here. So, but the trouble is, and I'm a forgiving person, but the trouble is, in our lives, we all go through all these kind of pressures and kind of experiences, and we can learn from them. And as we go along on our journey of life, we can kind of like stop and think, ah, we could help that person because we've been through that situation.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And Steve, you know, you're coming from a really good space. And that probably is a space that you need to come from. And, you know, some of the stuff I do is around people finding that space and that voice to speak out what's important to them.
Yeah,
It might
yeah.
not, do you know what? Your personal point of view may lose you tons of people, but the people that stay with you, that's the people who you really need to be investing your time in.
Well, work this one out. Work this one out. I went to a concert once and I heard someone say this. In life, you'd be lucky to have five true friends. Five, if you work it out, right? So what he meant was that he's going to be there for you. You'd be lucky to have five true friends. You might have all the friends in the world, but you know, you'd be lucky to have five true friends. And he was right.
You feel that's, and I can see how, I suppose it's how you define friends. And my belief is, Steve, there are absolutely some people who are very, very close to you, who are, you know, your inside out people, as it were. You know, they're in your inner circle. But there's also friends that come and go.
Yeah,
And sometimes you just need to relax into that. And when they're with you and it's working, that's great. When it's not, you say goodbye and you move on. We did a workshop a few weeks ago on 12 Wise Women around friendship.
yeah,
And I think one of the things that we all came to agreement on is that these people who you invite into your life or come into your life have huge significance. And the reason that they are able to persuade you or even maybe hurt you occasionally is because you put so much store against their opinion.
yeah,
And because you do that, they have an awful lot of power.
yeah.
Now, in order to make a real good friendship, it's almost you looking for a balance, aren't you? So
Mhm.
sometimes, you know, I've got the knowledge, sometimes you've got it. That's fine. And we're both okay on that. But it's when you give your power to somebody else, do you know, and you hold them up in such high esteem that everything they say, you daren't say anything against them because you are so, goes back to your question about people pleasing, you're so desperate to keep them on side. And they know, a lot of them may know lots about you, because that's the other thing, is you might have shared real deep secrets to these people. So you don't want to hack them off. So what you do is you become their puppet. You please them as much as you possibly, your power gives you. You give them everything. The only thing is that one day And we all said that is one day it just hits you that this relationship should be no more, regardless. And those 5 people that you've had through your life probably always stay with you, but they're probably the people you've got in balance. And maybe that's how we measure it. It's how balanced are our friendships.
Juliet, thank you so much. I'd love you to kind of like come back because I want to book you in because there's still lots more about you that I want to go through. But the trouble is, we never get time up in the day. It just goes so quick. So,
oh, thank you.
if I can get you back, what I'll do is I'll get my wife to book you in, and we can get a bit longer this time, and we can talk further because I've really enjoyed it.
Oh, Steve, well, thank you. Thank you very much for having me on. And as I say, this is my first time doing this. So, and you've made me feel really comfortable and be able to be open. So, Steve, I want to say thank you and bless you for doing what you're doing. Keep doing it. And I'll be back whenever you're ready.
And please, give me a nice review on my page and also go on to the speakers page and tell them about me.
I will indeed. Steve, thank you very much.
Thank you. Bless you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.